It'll be a rematch of the 2020 gold medal game when Team USA faces France in the men's basketball finale on Saturday afternoon. 4 years ago, Team USA were led by Kevin Durant's 29 points as they beat the French 87-82 in Japan. The two teams have met 8 times at the games, with Team USA winning 7 of those meetings, their only loss coming in 2020 during group play, which they, of course, then avenged in that gold medal game. This will be their 13th meeting overall. It gets underway at 3:30 Eastern this afternoon in Paris. Let's discuss with our basketball analyst and writer, Bill Reiter. Bill, Team USA, needed legendary performances from Steph and LeBron to get to the gold medal game, coming back to beat Serbia. Given how the tournament has gone, is Team USA where you expected them to be as a team as they get set to play France?
Not at all. And I suppose none of it will matter if, and I think it'll be when they lift gold later today. But no, Jeremy, I think that they have look, they're the most talented team by far in this competition. And the depth of talent and the separation of talent is extreme. And you know that we saw that in individual performances from Stephen Curry and from Joel Embiid and from LeBron James, who had what was then the 4th. Now there's 5 triple-doubles in the history of Olympic basketball. But no, I don't think they're where they should be. And I think the fact that Serbia pushed them the way that they did speaks to the fact that there are some problems with rotations or chemistry or whatever you want to point to in the level of domination we expected from USA.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to ask you about France, because they were here in 2020. Now they're back for the rematch and perhaps some payback. I mean, they're massive underdogs here. But how important is it for Team USA to start on time in this game versus perhaps waiting until the 4th quarter?
Yeah, maybe I'm diving too much into the tales I tell my kids at bedtime, but it's the tortoise and the hare, right? I mean, let's just like not nap through the first half of the first quarter. So there's 2 answers here. Like the right answer, or maybe the initial knee-jerk answer, Jeremy, is it's really important because this whole they've had to catch up. It shouldn't have to be that way. On the other hand, it also hasn't mattered to a certain degree from a certain perspective. They are here. They are in the gold medal game. They have not lost a competition. They have not lost one of these games. So I think it's the difference between a really close game they probably win and the kind of games, even against a team like France in the gold medal game, obviously a very capable team, that we should be seeing, which is a very easy stroll through the park, not a lot of sweat like there was last time victory that we didn't get against Serbia that I think should happen against France.
The funny thing is, you win by 1, you win by 5, you win by 10. A win is a win is a win. You get the win here no matter by how much, you're getting a gold medal. But despite the fact that the team is still undefeated, Steve Kerr has had to answer for his national crimes for not playing Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's mom went at him. Even his own player, Draymond Green, criticized the rotations. Kerr says it's all about the math. Bill, take a look at the quote here in terms of what Kerr had to say when asked about Tatum. It's not about anything Jason's doing or not doing. It's just about combinations and the way that group has played together, the way Kevin has filled in since he came back from his injury. It's just a math problem more than anything. Like I've said many times during this tournament and this last 6 weeks, it's just hard to play 11 people, even in an NBA game. So, having read that, having understood that, and obviously, Bill, you know this, do you expect Jason Tatum to get the start in the gold medal game?
For the love of all that is holy, and for not to have a lot of drama, I hope so. But look, there are some legitimate points that Steve Kerr makes, and as we all know, these FIBA games and the Olympics are 40-minute games. They're not 48-minute NBA games, so that's a lot less time. And he has had some circumstances that have popped up, Jeremy, that have probably played a little bit with what his plan was. Embiid, we know, got a lot of criticism for not playing extraordinarily well at the beginning of this tournament. You could have taken some of his minutes away, brought in Bam or AD at the 5, and put in Tatum, right? That actually happened. Embiid's been too good the last couple games, so that's a good problem to have. Durant's been outstanding coming off of that injury. It's hard to find space. But to answer your question, please, Steve Kerr, just get the man 5 minutes, right? Sit Booker for a couple extra minutes. Give the old guy LeBron James, who's amazing, a couple minutes of rest. The problem with Jason Tatum is he's an all-NBA player. He's an NBA champion. He's an extraordinary player. He's great defensively. But while Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is happy and willing to sort of be a guy that's on the bench, we know that Tatum's not. We know that his family's not. And so to answer your question, it's not easy. But Steve Kerr also has been criticized resoundingly, and I think sometimes fairly, by Warriors fans for his rotations. Just make a plan to get Jason Tatum 7 minutes and make it work. The end.
Tatum had 19 points in the gold medal win over France in 2020. So, Bill, with the rotations, you think that criticism then is fair?
I do. Yeah. I mean, look, it's politics and perception. It's not about whether Team USA is going to win. Now, had Serbia won that game, had they hit a couple of those three-point shots late in the fourth quarter, had it gone a different way, and obviously it could have. Jeremy, I think we're having a very serious conversation about Steve Kerr's coaching because Jason Tatum, as you know, didn't play, and it's a very different thing for you and I to discuss, I think, fairly, when USA beat Serbia. So yeah, I don't think it really matters because I think USA will win this game against France, and I think they'll be gold medalists, and that'll all be great. But I do think it's a legitimate question, and it becomes maybe more legitimate when that game against Serbia was a lot closer than it should have been. There is a math problem. I hear what Kerr is saying. You still, as the head coach, as part of the job, you have to manage these egos, these superstars. They want to play. They expect to play. Yes, it's legitimate. Get Jason Tatum some minutes.
Yeah, your podcast colleague, Ashley Nicole Moss, was lamenting yesterday, saying, if Serbia had won that game, the content that we would have had regarding Steve Kerr and Jason Tatum would have carried us for weeks here. But as it stands, we're talking about the Team USA playing for the gold medal and looking at this France team who beat Canada and Germany to get to this game. What's their best path to victory here?
So I don't think it's an easy one, although this is the obvious, right? I think Serbia was the team to beat USA, but here's what it looks like. It's defensively an outstanding performance from Victor Wembanyama. And speaking of minutes gate, by the way, there's one in France too. And I think in this scenario, maybe they remember that Rudy Gobert plays in the NBA and has won this thing called Defensive Player of the Year several times. So he gets more than 4 minutes. And so I think the recipe is France controls the paint. There's a ton of block shots by Wemby and Gobert if he's out there. That requires USA to take a ton of three-point shots, which, by the way, they should make most of those. But then there's, on top of that excellent performance on the interior in the paint by France, there's just a statistical anomaly of a poor shooting night by USA where they go, 10 of 31 from the three-point line or whatever it is. And you have to have somebody for France do what really Nikola Jokic did in that game for Serbia, and that is dominate the game, even if they don't dominate the box score in terms of points. They control the gravity. They create shots for their guys. I don't think Victor Wembanyama is at the age and the stage, Jeremy, where he's going to do that against a team like USA, but he's good enough to do it despite how young he is. So it's dominate the paint. USA shoots horribly from the three-point line, and Wembanyama controls the tempo of the game, especially offensively, and helps France to squeak out a very low-scoring win. That is the recipe for France.
Yeah, as you look at their path to the gold medal game here. Bill, we talked about Team USA. The win would give them their 5th straight basketball gold medal, 17th basketball gold overall. France have never won the gold. They've won 3 silvers. So, Bill, can you contrast what the gold medal would mean to each of these nations?
Yeah, it's everything. By the way, I forgot one ingredient, and that is the home cooking we saw in the game against Japan, where the French officials really help out.
Canada.
So I'm sorry, you're right, Jeremy, because you're from Canada. And I mean, it's been by the way, I know that I think it's worth 5 to 9 points. I mean, it's not just basketball. These entire Olympics, the French judges or the judges in France have been caught up in the spirit of Paris, and it's been interesting. I mean, it has been. Like, let's just be fair, and that happens at a lot of Olympics. I think that the distance between what these two situations mean is it's a starkly different reality. For USA, it's a failure if you get silver. And for most Olympians, silver, while disappointing sometimes and heartbreaking and excruciating, is a lifetime that you build toward that accomplishment, and it's a huge deal. It's not. It's a failure if USA does not win tonight. That is not true for France. Doesn't mean France doesn't want this thing. Of course they do. It would be magical for them. It would be a remarkable, I don't know, all-time upset, but close to it. It would also set the foundation for what would feel like the rise of not just international basketball, which I think, Jeremy, will be much more difficult for USA to navigate in 4 and certainly 8 years. But it would also, I think, just cement France as the team to beat with the rise of Wemby. It would be everything, and that's the difference. They're playing to a certain degree on home soil with some home cooking with house money because they want to win. They don't have to. They've already gotten to a point that is going to be celebrated in their country. And if USA doesn't win, and dear God, if Tatum doesn't play in a loss, it is going to be the sky is falling, lava is coming from everywhere. It's going to be chaos and dysfunction and toxicity for Team USA and all of us who talk about, cover, and sort of focus on this quest.
Team USA beat France by 5 in 2020 to win the gold. They are 16.5-point favorites going into this game today. Our basketball writer and analyst Bill Reiter setting up the gold medal men's basketball game. Bill, always good to see you. And of course, Bill, a big part of the Beyond the Arc podcast with Ashley Nicole Moss and John Gonzalez. The latest episode analysis of Team USA's tight win over Serbia, and they helped set up that gold medal game, which is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. You can download and follow Beyond the Arc wherever you get your podcasts.